Welcome to the chord book. This part of the chord study has to deal with the 4-string voicings, all the possibilities on a 6-string guitar, that is, and all the voicings that are present on them. So the study itself is based on 4-string groupings and the different voice leading, voicing, spacing possibilities that are available within each string group. So they look at a specific type of chord, whether it's major, minor, or some form of dominant chord, and looking at finding those on a specific string group, on a specific root. So they are based on a type of sound and a root. They're not based on what type of chord is on the first note of a scale and what type of note is on the second, etc. Nor are they based on taking a specific type of voicing and moving it up a scale, although that is present in certain parts of the study itself, but it's not the primary approach. The primary approach is a specific type of sound, major, minor, dominant, diminished, and a root and a string group. What is available within a specific string group on a specific root on the guitar. This will lead us to multiple voicings and possibilities for harmonizing pretty much any melody note or coming up with any specific spacing or chord voicing that we wish to on the guitar. The study doesn't make any reference to types of genres or players or specific musical personalities, and there are no valued judgments based on specific types of chords or voicings themselves. That's up for whoever's using this. It's your judgment to make in terms of how you wish to apply certain chords or omit them or whatever you choose to do. This is just material, and it doesn't have anything to do with specific style or genre or players. Now, the considerations in terms of the acoustics of the instrument I think are interesting and noted here. For example, I'll take an A major type of chord and I'll place a few voicings on the 2, 3, 4, 5, the middle 4 string group. And they behave acoustically a bit differently than, say, the 1, 2, 3, 5 string group if I do the same thing. Bit differently again than the lower 4 strings, which would be 3, 4, 5, 6, again A major. Again, different than 1, 2, 3, and 6. Yet differently, 1, 2, 4, 6. And also 1, 4, 5, 6, so the first string and the lower 3. So they all cause the instrument to behave a little bit differently acoustically. And they all have a different way of causing the guitar to resonate, whether that's through an amplifier or acoustically. So again, the idea is to exhaust the possibilities and find usable harmonies that work for any number of applications, musical applications. So each video will have me announcing the specific type of chord, whether that's major, minor, etc. The specific string group, so wherever those chords are placed on the 4 string groups, and the root. There's 15 different string groupings, so we'll go through all 12 tones and then we'll repeat 3 of them for the studies. Now, the specific types of chords that we're covering are the major 7th type chord, and that would have the sharp 11 present in them up to the 13th. So they're based on the 4th degree of a major scale or a Lydian sound. The minor 7 type chord, which would go up to the 13th with a natural 6, so that would be a Dorian sound, a Dorian mode sound, based on, again, the 2nd degree of the scale. The dominant 7th type chord with a a 13th up to the 13th, a natural 11. This would be based on the fifth note or the fifth tone of the major scale or dominant mixolydian. The next type is the dominant seventh with the sharp 11. That'll be based on the fourth degree of the melodic minor scale, or what they call Lydian dominant, all the way up to the 13th with a raised 11th or a raised fourth. The dominant seventh with both types of alterations of a ninth, a sharp 9 and a flat 9, a sharp 5 and a flat 5, or a flat 13, going up to the flat 13. This will be based on the seventh note of a melodic minor scale, or what they call a superlocrian scale. The next type would be the dominant 13th with a sharp 9 and a flat 9 and a flat 5 or raised 11. These will be based on the diminished scale or the octatonic scale. Sometimes it's called the double diminished scale. Then we will have dominant 7 chords with a sharp 5, a raised fifth, and a lowered fifth based on the whole tone scale. And there'll be a couple brief examples as an introduction to what we call the 6-tone symmetrical scale or augmented scale or doubly augmented scale. So there's a short chapter on those as well. So basically the chords are derived from, in the case of the major seventh, the minor seventh, and the dominant seventh, they're based on a major scale of some form. For the dominant 7 sharp 11 and the dominant 7 with the sharp 9, flat 9, sharp 5, and flat 5, they're based on the melodic minor scale. And then we have chords that are based on the diminished scale, again, the whole tone scale, and then the 6-tone symmetrical or augmented scale. In general, the chords are based on, a specific type of chord. So they're not based on, again, running up a diatonic series. Although I would say this, for the major seventh, the minor seventh, and the unaltered dominant typically have that format almost exclusively. When you start to get to the diminished scale and the whole tone scale and the augmented scale, then yes, they're a bit more investigated from a linear perspective and a scale perspective. Although in the case of the diminished scale, they deal with altered dominant chords, but they also deal with diminished seventh chord types as well. There'll be a mixture of triads over foreign bass notes, all sorts of different types of harmonies. Those that use exclusively fourths and exclusively fifths are present in some of the chord families. So there's a liberal survey of different types of chord voicings. There are also different ways of looking at chords that are not obviously present. For example, although we have those types of chords, the major seventh sharp 5 is not dealt with specifically, nor is a chord like a minor major seventh chord, but they are a part of the dominant with the sharp 11 or the dominant with the sharp 9, flat 9, sharp 5, flat 5 voicings. In other words, they're a part of the melodic minor scale based voicings. So the major 7 sharp 5 will be related to specific dominant chords. Same with the minor major 7. For example, if it's a C7 with a sharp 11, for example, type chord, the G minor major 7 will be related to that, as well as the B flat major 7 with the sharp 5. If it was a C7 with a sharp 9 and a flat 9 and a sharp 5 and a flat 5, then that would be the C sharp minor major 7 that would relate to that, and also the E major 7 sharp 5. So those chords are present, but they're just not dealt with discretely on their own as a part of a tonic chord or something. Although the voicings are there and they can be used in that fashion, so it's not precluding their use for those applications. It's just there's not a ton of space to do these things, so they need to be related to a specific area, and then one can extract any chord at any point and use it however they want. So again, the study is not to discuss specific chord substitutions or how to use chords, although it is mentioned. For example, in the dominant chord section specifically, I do discuss some possible resolutions, but they're just basic ones. And again, it's not a treatise on substitutions or usage per se.